Well, good evening. My name is Shawn and I serve also as an associate pastor under Rich and as on the elder board. So it is a sincere joy to be able to share with you the life of Nicole. My children have grown up with many of theirs. My wife and I are better known as the marriage mentors around the church, and we had the sincere blessing of spending time with Chris and Nicole for many weeks. The life of Nicole Laube. Nicole Marie Laube was firstborn child of Rich and Jordy Jones. She was born on April 10th, 1985 in Forest Grove, Oregon. Those were the days when natural childbirth was just becoming fashionable, and Rich asked the doctor if he could actually deliver the baby. We can all picture that, Rich. The doctor agreed on two conditions. First, that if anything happened, he would step aside and let the doctor take over. And secondly, that they would pay the same price. Nicole was the light of their lives. They went to doctor's appointments together, took turns getting up at night with her, and were proud of everything she did. She was completely walking on her own at 9 months old. When it came to learning how to swim, forget the water wings. She was diving off the deep end at 2. When sisters, Victoria and Chelsea, came along, she was Mom's helper. She was an awesome big sister, leading them on adventures and filling their lives with excitement. And then later, when the family moved to Aloha, she became the neighborhood ringleader. This is how her youngest sister, Chelsea, remembers Nicole, and I quote, "As kids, Nicole always sought out adventure. Whether playing mud football or jumping off bridges at Jones Creek, she was a leader, and everyone looked to her. Wherever she went, people remembered her. In high school, she was known for being able to throw a football just as far as the boys. As kids, we would walk to the local pool, and all the lifeguards knew her as the Cannonball Queen. As an adult, people who saw her working out in the gym wanted to get to know her too. They knew her for her dedication and hard work. Nicole never did things halfway. She played hard, she worked hard. Her drive and her determination have inspired those around her throughout her entire life. Some of my favorite memories as a kid were when Nicole would babysit. When our parents were gone, we sometimes would watch WWF SmackDown on TV. We would fill the family room floor with couch cushions and pillows, and we would then all take turns pretending to be the wrestlers on TV, jumping from couches and pretending to tag team each other. As soon as we heard the garage door open, though, we would change the channel, turn off the TV, and run to get in bed as fast as we could. Nicole was the big sister everyone wanted." End quote. Nicole and her sisters were homeschooled until middle school, where she attended Life Christian School in Aloha. Nicole was a 4-point student for much of her time there. She got an award for not missing a day at school. She really enjoyed being on the track team, where she threw the javelin, shot put, and discus. In her sophomore and junior years, she won the 1A state championship in the javelin throw. She was set to receive a full-ride scholarship to college, but that dream was shattered with a severe injury to her elbow. That injury brings up another important part of Nicole's life. She faced many troubles. When she was 9, she was afflicted by a mysterious condition that caused a fever that spiked to 106.5 degrees. She had a red rash on her neck, the palms of her hands, the soles of her feet. Every joint in her body was racked with severe pain. After several days in the hospital, the doctors concluded she had Kawasaki syndrome, an extremely rare condition that required gamma globulin treatments, left her extremely tired for many months. Then, when Nicole was 19 years old, she developed more systemic symptoms. She was finally diagnosed as having stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which required extensive chemotherapy, and another long road to recover her strength and her health. But she persevered. Not only did she regain her strength and her health, she became a fitness buff and a competitive bodybuilder. Nicole never did anything halfway. Nicole's sister Victoria remembers her persevering and driven personality like this, and I quote, "Nicole often showed love by giving a good punch in the arm or leg." We all love that about her. She has always been very physical and active ever since she was young. I have many fond memories wrestling, swimming, and riding bikes. We used to wake up early in the morning, get our chores done, and jump on our bikes and ride up and down our street until we were called to come back in. Nicole was the leader of the 192nd Street Bike Gang. And her leadership qualities continued to reveal themselves as we all got older. She was creative, came up with so many fun activities for us all. We started our own radio show, created treasure hunts for each other, set up a miniature library, recorded and starred in our own news station, and constructed giant forts we slept in for nights. As Nicole became a mother, she utilized her creativity and love for physical activity. Nicole, our friend Sonia, her daughter Avia, and I used to clear the living room, turn the music up, dance until Avia was done, which typically took quite a while. She loved to sacrifice for others and give what she could. I have a memory of Nicole a few years back during a snowstorm. It was right before Avia's bedtime. Nicole volunteered to pick up my best friend and drive us both to our other friend's house just so we could have fun. Every 5 minutes, we had to pull over and remove the snow off the windshield. She dropped us off and turned right back around to put Avia to bed. She was constantly letting us sisters use her car. She always took us out to lunch and wanted to help in any way possible, whether it was asked of her or not. I am so thankful for all her support throughout my life. I knew I always had a friend, someone to care." End quote. Another important dynamic of Nicole's life is that when she was 16, her parents adopted 2 boys from Russia who were 14 and 10 years old at the time, Alex and Michael, affectionately known by the family as Sasha and Misha. Having 2 boys in the household of girls only brought more adventures, more people to wrestle with, lots of good memories. Her brother, Sasha, who is now a sergeant in the Marine Corps and Special Forces, says of his memories of Nicole, and I quote, "What a picture I have when I think of Nicole. She was driven and focused. When Nicole had a mission, she would be fixed on that mission. That was true in all aspects of her life. Nicole was always willing to work and put in the hours for whatever she was focused on." This was evident one day when we worked out in the gym together, when I was here for my last leave. Nicole was excited about living a fit lifestyle. She wanted to do my workout. So we did. She would get her weights and do the sets. I would tell her after each set, "Go higher on the weight," and she would. On the last set, she was struggling, but she didn't quit. She didn't complain. She just kept pushing through it. At the end of the workout, she told me it was her personal record. That's how she was. She just kept on pushing through. Another image of Nicole is being a free spirit and maverick. I also remember Nicole's laugh. She definitely had a distinct laugh that was hilarious. end quote. After Nicole graduated from high school, she moved to California to be with a friend. Then after 6 months, she became very sick, moved back to Oregon. That was when we discovered she had cancer. When she completed all the chemotherapy treatment, she took college classes with the goal of becoming a massage therapist. Those became turbulent years for Nicole. However, and she found herself drawn into the worldly side of life. When she became pregnant with Avia, however, she drew near to her family again, who took her in, surrounded her with love and support, and helped her grow into the responsibilities of being a mom. Family friends Paul and Ellen blessed her and Avia, letting them live in their rental home for free while Nicole got on her feet. Shortly after that, she met her future husband, Chris, while she was working at the restaurant on the border. He would occasionally come to the restaurant, but after meeting Nicole, he became a regular. Sometime later, they started dating and were married on August 28th, 2010. Nicole had Avia, Chris had Madison and Riley, and then 2 years later, Ethan was born. Together, they were a family of 4 children. They had the challenges of a blended family, but they had the joys and adventures of life together. They loved their children. They loved making family traditions like going to the pumpkin patch, cutting down the Christmas tree, going to ball games, going to the lake with Grandma and Grandpa, and sitting around a fire on the back patio. They built memories together. That's what they're holding on to right now. Although when Chris remembers the night that Nicole was 9 months pregnant with Ethan and her water broke, he realized there are moments when a do-over would have come in handy. She came into the bedroom where Chris was sleeping and said, "Chris, my water just broke." He responded, "Okay, let me know when I need to do something." I laughed just like that when I read this for the first time. That actually would have been a good time for a do-over. After Nicole had Ethan, she decided to really get in shape and joined the Extreme Edge gym on Cornell Road, where she worked out regularly. She then got a coach and started competitive bodybuilding. Nicole doesn't do anything halfway. With a wife into competitive bodybuilding, Chris decided it might be a good idea if he also got into weightlifting, which made for some interesting and lighthearted competition between them. After a workout, Nicole would text Chris with something like, "I just did 5 sets of 250 on the leg press." Chris would respond, "Well, I did 8 sets at 275. No way was he going to be outdone by his wife. On Tuesday, August 19th, 2014, Nicole was tragically killed at the Timber Creek Apartments where she worked as a leasing agent. After she was attacked, she ran more than 100 feet to some residents she saw in the parking lot. She pleaded for help, telling them that she had been stabbed, then described her attacker before she went unconscious and died at the scene. She was courageous to the end. Nicole's life was tragically taken from her. Her 2 children have no mother. Chris has lost his wife of only 4 years. Rich and Jordy have lost their firstborn daughter. Sasha, Victoria, Chelsea, Michael have lost their older sister and dear friend. We have all lost an inspiration. We all have stories. We all have memories. But right now, the family has chosen 4 families who have had a particular influence and memories in Nicole's life. I would invite them to come now.